They had a lot of guests backed up. Must be disappointing.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not trying to be that one person that's trying to take the clout, but you know, since they're not doing it, someone's got to do it. So
Yeah, and you gotta carry on the hustle, my guy.
gotta carry on.
So, there, we have an issue.
What's the issue?
I can't find my Minecraft
You
case.
can't find your Minecraft disc.
I've lost it.
I'm just gonna make a podcast room for myself. I give up.
I will join on my
Alright,
phone.
that's fine. I'm gonna just
Okay,
keep
yeah.
grinding on this.
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready to begin.
Oh, all right. Well, I just started the broadcasting, so I'm just making sure everything's set up here.
Perfect.
Okay, everything should be beautiful. Should be fantastic. All right, all right. Hello, everybody. It's the great podcast season again. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wow, thanks guys. Really having my back here. So we got some special people here. I believe, like I said earlier, I believe you guys have been, you know, part of the podcast at some point in time.
Indeed, we have.
We were side characters, but yeah, we have.
Hey, nothing wrong with, you know, a side character story got to be told, you know?
Yeah.
Come on. You know, you can't leave them hanging. I know how it feels,
Fair enough.
especially this iteration.
Aww. It's okay. Hopefully it'll be over soon. Give me the next one.
What? Not being a main character? This sucks. The fuck?
No, not even that. It's like, if you're not a main character, you might be left out of all the RP.
Well,
Might.
think about it this way. It's either like you're a main character, or you try and be a main character. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, I get that.
Like you're that fuckboy Chad. You know, like everybody else is trying to be evil. I'm gonna get into this real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I hate those people. God, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever does that, man.
imagine those guys.
Yeah, what monsters.
Yeah.
Imagine killing like a whole like settlement just because, you know, they're getting better RP than you or something. You know? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I think that's even worse than like taking ownership of an old group and just ruining its reputation.
Yeah. Fuck that group, man. All right. So, well, it's good to have you guys back here.
Good to be here.
I'm glad to be back.
Are you? Are you really back? Or are you just saying that for?
Hi. Alright.
Next question, please.
Yeah, let's go.
So you guys have had pretty interesting stories, right? I mean, I personally haven't really RP'd with you guys since last Contagion. So, you guys want to talk about, you know, maybe the storylines you guys have been doing this iteration?
Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather keep it to last iteration, because like meta and stuff, and also we didn't really RP with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to talk about me, but I didn't get into much.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's ways to talk about stuff this iteration without using too much meta. Like, I think you can talk about your character a decent bit without saying anything too bad.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta be very careful with, you know, meta and shit like that.
Yeah, the monster watch, guys. We gotta keep it down.
The heck.
Dang.
They
poking his
say,
head in.
you know, like they say, a spider is always like 10 feet away from you at any given time.
Don't shut up, because my room is pitch black right now. I'm mad at you.
There's like a rumor that like there's a Lectarg every 20 feet away from you, man. He's in your walls watching you.
He's here.
Just don't go to like Australia, you know, where there's like where they gotta worry about like huntsman spiders and big giant horns.
Is
I'm
the
sorry.
same in Sweden? There's like a giant leptog in the corner of your room.
Is it really?
There is, yeah. It's like mandatory to have a photo of him in every room of your house.
Oh god.
Yep. Just how it is, bro.
I'm sorry, dog. If I see some big ass spider in the corner of my house. That spider owns that house. I'm sorry, I'm leaving. Like I'm going to
Right?
Tahiti.
I don't get people who can kill giant spiders. Ugh, what if they jump on you? What
I
happens
would provide for the spider.
then?
I would. What if someone like RP'd as like pretending to be a spider or some shit? It's fucking.
Damn, RPing pretending to be a type of animal slash insect type of don't fuck. Yeah, I tried
Oh my
to make a
God.
joke about
I feel
teacups,
like
Carol. I give up, man. Am I?
Wait,
if
did you
like,
actually do that?
I played Dingo. He didn't
I
have any
never
traits
met
of a dingo.
Dingo. I never
He
met
was so
dingoes.
cool. He was like an Australian psychopath.
Okay, so you
But at
wanna?
this point, I was like, I mean, me and Bear, we can talk about that together because we were together for pretty much the entire storyline, and they
Yeah.
they
Indeed.
intertwined really
I
well.
I don't think last time on our podcast we ever talked about Dingo. I think at the time the podcast was mostly like heavily driven for like how learning WTR rather than the characters
Yeah,
and
because
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
we had
yeah,
all the different like talking points and stuff, didn't we, about how to make a good character and stuff.
But yeah, this is me personally. I'm personally curious about um, what happened, whether it's with characters that have died this iteration, or even the characters that you played, with Dingo and uh, Dean, the mysterious Dean.
The mysterious Dean Ford, of
And so
course.
yeah, I'm all ears.
Alright then.
Character development, how much PTSD suffered, all that stuff. I'm very curious because I know I've talked heavily about my adventure, but I definitely want to hear
Yeah.
other impacts than that.
Okay,
So,
well,
go for it.
so to you, Teacup, would you like me to go first, or would you like to, precede me?
You can go first because I don't know how to start it.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I think I'll save a bit of my newer characters, and everything like that, and the more recent stuff till the end of this. I mean, let's start off with the old. So like, when it comes to the Dean and Dingo stuff, obviously, I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but like, top 10 characters
Oh,
was the
here we
iteration.
go.
Actually, no,
Here
top
we
10
go.
characters, the iteration go like this. So,
Dingo, 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 maybe Dean.
so how many members are in the tower?
Oh shit!
Like 8? I would
Yeah.
like 8 of them.
Damn it.
It was like 8.
Yeah. But yeah, for context, I played a character formerly known as the handsome, badass, crazy cool Dean motherfucking Ford.
Nobody
And
knows that.
shut the fuck up. And Teacup played the illustrious Dingo, psychopath with a name of a dog in it. But yeah, basically they started off on very different paths, but ended up forming a close bond in the best group of the season, the Refuge. Was all my Refuge fans at, if anybody actually remembers that. But yeah, basically Teacup can say a bit about Dingo. Obviously, he knows more than me, but when it comes to Dean, Dean was basically an American con man, and he came to Chinaris because he had a job to do there. The job kept mostly secret, I don't know if I can disclose the details here. I don't think that'll ever be known, to be honest. But all you need to know about Dean is that he loves smoking, he loves Mad Monk Kvass, and he loves his cowboy hat. He never leaves home without it. But yeah, that's basically all you need to know about Dean. Teacup. About Dingo.
Okay. Right. So Dingo, he was an Australian hobo. He lived in the outback until one fateful day, a man by the name of Ozzy came and picked him up, and they roamed the outback together in the back of his van. Oh, hold on, someone's at my door.
Okay.
It's the man, the myth, the
It's
legend.
Ozzy. He's come for me.
Alright, well, alright, I guess I'll continue it.
Someone's at my door.
All right.
the-
Well, yeah,
yeah.
Dean Dean, his whole character was basically built off. He started off as like sort of like a side character in his own story. Sort of like he didn't really know what he wanted to do.
Okay.
He was just doing his thing, vibing in the new world.
Vibing
Joined
in.
Devil's Castle, and he was a part of some groups like that, and he watched them fall and rise in the beginning. And eventually, he saw how, to put it lightly, shitty everybody's leadership skills were. Keep that in mind for later, okay? And he decided to start his own thing, which he would deem the Refuge. And he'd slowly grow, get many people in, and one of those people would be Dingo. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at the part where Dingo joined the refuge.
Indeed.
Yep.
Damn, okay. So at first, right, Dingo was looking for a place to call home. And he had Ozzy with him. They went up to the gates. And Dingo, he was freaking out because Ozzy had come down with a blood infection and we didn't have anything to cure it. But Dean, right, he took ages to come to the gate, even after we were radioing him over and over again. And then he was like, oh no, there's no rush, guys. It's fine, he'll be fine. So we spent a little bit trying to cure that, but eventually we did, and we went down to the big storage place for an interview.
Right.
So we did that. Dingo somehow got into the refuge, even after his horrific past. And yeah. But that same day, right whilst we were doing that, Bushman, he came up to the gates.
Ah, Bushman.
And he was, yeah. Actually, Marlon, you're best off saying this part.
Okay, so I can summarize this whole segment of the podcast in one
Please do.
sentence. Dean, where's my MVGs?
Oh no.
We're gonna have a problem, Dean.
Oh, I fucking remember the radio chat. I remember that. I'm like, I played as Shane Deacon and yeah, as the Wolves, and I remember hearing this fucking conversation on the radio. I'm like, did this motherfucker steal the Bushman's fucking MVGs? He's gonna fucking die. Like,
Yeah, man.
I'm telling everybody this too. I'm like, this fucking Dean guy's gonna fucking die. Like,
Yeah, man, and then everybody just came up to my gate, all of his guys, and like, I was like, hey, yo, man, I don't have your MVGs. And then like, he was like, well, one of your guys said he had them. And I thought back and, oh shit, I remembered. One of Dean's friends, Drake, Adrian Maverick, the third, I think his name was, joked as we were leaving a Metal League party one time, in as I quote from him, he said, haha, Dean, guess what? I stole the Bushman's MVGs. Now, for context, he didn't actually steal the MVGs, but you see, he wanted to make us think he did. So after fucking around for a bit, he was like, nah, man, I don't actually have the MVGs. So we didn't know what to do, because somebody framed us. But one of the members in our group, Dakota, did have MVGs. I've said MVGs a lot, but we gave them to him, and the peace, it settled until Mr. French, one of Bushman's friends, I think, they had like a little battle or whatever, and they didn't like each other. So that's when the refuge got into its first share of conflict.
Dun dun dun.
dun dun dun.
Yeah. To cut it shortly, basically, Mr. French approached Dean about killing Bushman and went on to threaten Mr. Ford with death if he didn't do it. Not directly, but it was pretty apparent Mr. French was a scary man for somebody called Mr. French.
Didn't he have, he also had like a whole army of mercenaries at the time, didn't he, as well?
Indeed he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I was very close friends with Mr. French.
Anyway, after that, Dean went on to subvert everybody's expectations by the sounds of it, and ended up killing Bushman like the beast he was. Proving that Dean Ford was the most muscular, macho man survivor that you will ever meet. But yeah, my voice is hurting. I'll let Teacup explain the next bit. This was on French in the Tower. Remember, T?
I don't remember any of this.
Bruh.
I don't remember. The only thing I remember from the French and Tower arc is us going up there and the tower showing us French's stuff.
Damn, this goldfish memory. Okay, so.
Sorry.
Okay, I guess once again I'll cut it short. Basically, at this time, OOC and in character, I was not aware of the impact the tower had. And I was not aware of the OOC legends of men like Habit, Foreman, and Spectre.
Gosh. The scary people, yep.
Exactly, so Dean ended up literally saying to, I don't think it was Dingo, but one of the people in his group, I could fucking end the tower any day, in his own words.
Oh,
I used to say that would come back to bite him. Because one day the tower arrived and Dean never really knew how bad they could be, because they arrived and they were actually really nice. And they basically just said, help us kill French, or like turn French in or some shit like that. And Dean said, no, we're neutral. And then went to French to relay all the information. Yeah.
Then we somehow stayed neutral.
One day we went up to the tower and it turned out that French was no more. He'd been banished to the Shadow Realm. That was when the tower sort of made their stance on the refuge, and the only reason they didn't kill us, the only reason to this day, is that we had the character of Drake with us, as they knew him as Hollywood. But yeah, I guess then we get onto the juicy part, which I think Teacup will very much remember. So
this bit.
So a character named Georgia comes into play.
Oh no.
I'll let Teacup explain this. He's better at it than I am. Go on, my friend.
Okay, so Georgia, right? She was played by Mother's character.
Yep.
No, she was played by Mother, right? And her and Dingo, they got along really well. And it's happened again.
What?
You good?
I'm sorry.
Okay, somebody knocking at your door again.
Where are we at? Please say something.
Okay, so basically,
Lost me.
we're at like the tower gave us an ultimatum, and they gave you an ultimatum.
Oh, right. Okay, this bit. All right. So, basically, yeah. Right. Okay. No. Shut up. I got it right. So, they gave Dingo an ultimatum, right? It was either he turned himself in, or they cut off all of George's fingers. And this is because the day before, Dingo, he threatened to kill Masoki's character, Hollywood. And they were really upset about that. And so Dingo, being the cool guy he was, right? The cool, brave, loyal, selfless man, he turned himself into the tower.
Yeah.
Because in his mind, him doing that had saved George's life. And then she died 2 days later.
I mean, let's not forget about the whole standoff that Dean and Dingo ended up having at the refuge before Dingo departed.
Was that really a standoff, right?
I mean, Dean held a knife to your throat and Dingo was like,
No, Mr. Dean, I'm not fighting you. Mr. Dean, I can't fight you.
But yeah, Dingo was no more, and Dean's story was slowly coming to a close as well. This is when a group that I don't think you'll really know. They were called the Black Hands.
Oh,
started to
yeah,
come
I
up
don't
on the
know
rise.
those fucking
They
guys.
were
Yeah.
super small. I don't know those guys.
And basically, they infiltrated the refuge, ended up shooting Dean through the eye, blinding him in one eye, and causing a lot of harm to his body, which will come into a lot of play later. So, next, the war started, essentially. Not many people knew about it, but it was relayed through posters, one of them being the most creative poster I've actually ever seen on the server. I'll try to pull it up for you guys later on, but yeah, anyway, basically, it all came to a head when the Black Hand ended up attacking the refuge. Tensions were high, but of course the tower came to the rescue, and Dean probably would have met his fate a lot sooner if they didn't come. Because one, Dean had never been in a fight before, and two, I had never been in a fight before. But, yeah, everything went smoothly, apart from Dean getting shot once, and a couple of his members died. One including a 14-year-old child, but we move on. So, after that, everything went pretty smoothly for Dean. His people were getting along, and everything was going okay. But Dean did start to develop an infection on his wounds from like a month prior that only just happened to come up now. Now they had a doctor in the refuge, meaning that Dean probably did not have long to live. And I don't know for definite, but he did have maybe a couple of days, maybe a week. So Dean didn't really know what to do. But that's not actually how he ended up dying, you see. So, one of Dean's most trusted men, one of the men that was in Dean's council, Drake, ended up betraying Dean, leading him to a barn where he had previously killed a handful of Dean's own members, and ended up pulling a gun on Dean. Now, Dean, being the absolute beast he was, decided to not go out of it, and managed to take a couple down with him before having his face blown off by a double-barrel shotgun, resulting in the death of Dean Ford.
Damn.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Dean just died from that. And then one maybe creepy, as some would refer to, pedophile character later. We get to Dr. Monroe.
Oh, him, yeah.
Dr. Monroe.
Yeah, and also Max as well. I mean, they were a duo for some time, so I think we can talk about them both at the same time now. Yeah, if we take up Max as your character.
Okay, I can talk about Max, because I have a lot to talk about with him. So, it all started, I don't remember the date, but basically, right, he'd been in his parents' bunker for about a year, maybe like 8 months, and he was like terrified. His parents were ill, his uncle was dead, and he didn't know what to do, and he didn't know the world had ended at this point. So he had left to try and find help for them, and on his journeys he had found a really nice, really well-liked Chechen named Musa. He was not well-liked, and he wasn't nice, but it doesn't matter. And basically, right, he was explaining everything that happened to Max. And at first he didn't believe him, but when he gave Max the option to either leave, or be taught like stuff like how to cook, how to shoot a gun, that's when Max was like starting to believe him and understand what was going on. So Musa, he taught Max what he needed to do to survive. He taught him how to cook, how to make a fire, how to shoot, those other stuff that I forgot. Yeah, basically the stuff that he'd need. And then they both went their separate ways. And so Max, after wandering around for a bit, he had gone to, I think it was Severograd, where he came across Victoria. I don't know if I'm yeah, he came across Victoria. Victoria, that was Joella's character. And they grew, I don't know, what's the word?
And they grew a bond?
That's the word, yeah. And then he went with Victoria and one of her friends down to Metallurg, where he stayed for a while. And now you can start.
Well,
it's safer now.
That's when a nice, kind-hearted man came to Metallurg. This man was formerly known as Dr. Gareth Monroe, and he was a man of medicine and a man of science. Now, Gareth, first of all, came to Metallurg, where he would essentially steal a good chunk of the dam from everybody, only asking one person for permission, because Monroe was just sneaky like that. But Yeah, he claimed his little spot, and everything was okay from there. But you see, Monroe had a past that he didn't really tell anybody. His known past was, he was an aspiring doctor, grew up in Sheffield, and attended Oxford University because he was just so big brain. He ended up studying neuroscience among many other different things, and just became, honestly, a Chad. Musa who. So, in obviously next, Monroe, he grew a friendship with Max, and ended up ranting to Max about something from his past. At this point, it was probably very mysterious, but there was more to uncover. Well, because on the outside, people saw Dr. Gareth Monroe as just that. A humble, nice English doctor just wanting to help people. Couldn't hurt a fly. I mean, in his character description, it literally says he is scared of pigs. So, could he really hurt that much? But there was another side to Monroe that knew more than he was letting on. This different side to him never really had a full name, but mostly just referred to himself as the Doctor or Dr. Monroe, ditching the whole Gareth persona, therefore really ditching what made him him. He was more just a cold monster type of person. And it turns out, while in the bunker, Monroe sort of took over. There's another side to him, where he essentially did horrible things in the bunker, like take blood from people, do tests on different people, and ended up having to kill 22 people in total in his bunker, as he was ordered to by the militia forces that he was with. One of these people being a man named Oakley, which is very important to Monroe's backstory. But anyway, Monroe just vibed around, got sold to a cannibal at one point, but I think it was for a stick or something.
I claim no responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Initiation.
Yeah, well, he did have failures here and there. Couldn't save somebody's head from being pumpkin squashed by a bag man. Not gonna name names, but yeah. Anyway, Monroe ended up leaving Metallurg at some point because he was told of a much more grander, better group up in the north, or western north area, and that group was the Cine-Stock community of Camp Freedom, led by the crazy badass CIA agent Dr. Man, Nomad, Unknown, Sir. And yeah, he met a lot of friends there. Some of them known as Ivan was a good friend of Monroe's, obviously the Doc. He met a man named David, which was good. He also made a lot of other friends. But continuing Monroe's story, Tika, do you want to talk, or am I okay to continue?
No, you can keep going.
Alright, but yeah, Monroe just continued living his life, when, one day, he went up to Altar radio station, and, whilst there, he was robbed, essentially for everything he had. They even took his lab coat off him, which was his prized possession, mind you. Also, OOC, that took me 3 hours to find, so I wasn't very happy. But, but yeah, safe to say, Monroe was more scared than anything. Basically, this other side of him, the Doctor, started to come back. It's never really fully explained what was wrong with Gareth, but, there were traces of the dissociative identity disorder and different things like that, in him, and essentially, this trauma that he just experienced sort of reignited the spark that was let out so long ago, and he sort of went on a reign of tyranny, I guess you would call it, where, first of all, he met a nice woman by the name of Nox, or as he'd later know her as Valeria, and using that friendship, he managed to rile up everybody into going up to Alta. But the difference is, Monroe knew what he was doing, while everybody else just thought they were going to hold up the child and, give him a strict talking to. What Monroe actually ended up doing is brutally beating him into a bloody pulp with a stun baton. this did not earn Monroe that many brownie points, and he got a swift talking to, and I quote from Dr. Makarov, "Tell Dr. Monroe he can't do that. It's a douchey thing to do."
Really?
Yup. I'm positive that's what he said. I can remember somebody telling me he said that.
That's a douchey thing to do.
Monroe, you killed a child. That's such an unpoggers way of going about it. Yeah, but Monroe, at this point, Gareth was all but gone, and Monroe had taken over his personality, and he was using everybody's friendship. You see, because Gareth had only really got to know these people for about a couple of days, but Monroe knew these people for weeks, months. He had managed to get a hold of what they liked, what they disliked, what their favourite food was, whether or not they were a loser. And in the end, he used all that to his advantage. When he tried to hold up a bunch of his friends, surprisingly didn't get shot, and was taken into a prison cell. Now at this moment in time, we'll get back to it later, but there were a little unknown group back on the rise for round 2, known as the Black Hand 2. And yeah, they'd come back later on. But it's safe to say everybody was pretty not disappointed, but frustrated with the fact that they'd gotten to know this complete stranger to them that wasn't the man that he led on. But they were still determined to help him, especially Valeria, as she'd grown to be good friends with at least who she thought. And there were still traces of Gareth, the doctor, but it was sparse, few and far between. But yeah, to cut it short a bit, basically, Monroe had a rivalry at that point with a man named David, because I don't really know too much, even though I see what the rivalry was, but he just didn't really like Monroe very much. I killed a child, man. I thought I could deal with it, and you know, we sort of went from there. And that all ended up coming to a climax when he got fucking domed. And yeah, Monroe, he's just built different, he won. Turns out everybody ended up dying. Literally everybody. Isaac. And yeah, Isaac basically orphaned Monroe. And one day, he was let out of his cell by Dr. Unknown, No Monsieur Man, CIA boss. And he was like, "Hey yo, everybody's dead." So that led Monroe on his quest for vengeance. He really cared about his friends because he was like a really cool guy or whatever. But like, this really riled him up. So he had some loose ends to tie up. At this point, he was still had traces of that evil man in him. And he had one last thing he needed to do. Which was kill the man who essentially made him into this. So he went and did that, beat him with the stun battle, and it sort of became a trend. But after that, all parts of him that he needed to change and adapt. Because he blamed himself for everybody's deaths, and he thought maybe he could have helped. When in reality, I mean, like, yes, well, the only gun he had was the Eagle, I'm pretty sure. So, you know. But, yeah, he took on a new identity, Dylan West. Tried to start a cult, gang, gun shop with a child. Threatened the child. And then, yeah, he ended up finishing off his story by living out his final days of the iteration in the school, helping fight in the war of I think it was a coalition?
Yeah.
Coalition versus Tower. I mean, by help, I mean he ran away and hid. But, you know, I call it helping. But, yeah, he ended up being one of the few people to actually escape the iteration alive, which I didn't expect, but, you know. Yeah, it's based on Monroe's story. My throat feels like it's gonna die, but, like, yeah. That's basically it. Yeah, I mean, something I never did, that I always planned, I was telling you about this before, we started this, Isaac. Basically, Monroe was not meant to survive. Because before we were told, like, just before the 1 week notice came out about the iteration ending, I thought we had at least a month left, because I haven't been keeping track of time. I didn't know it had been like 6, almost
Yeah.
7 months. So, like, the original thing I planned for Monroe is I not planned that as ending too much, but I knew the end goal. And basically, Monroe was going to have sort of a sad end, if I'm honest. Monroe was actually going to contract cancer in the end and die, just as the iteration ended. Because I thought, you know, Monroe's had his redemption arc. He's really nice now. Why not just kill him?
YOLO.
So yeah, I'll let someone else talk now, because like I said, kind of want to die after that.
You don't.
Alright, give me like 2 seconds. I'm in the middle of something. And then I'll talk.
The strange man's
I'm
at the
trying
door
to-
again.
No, I'm trying to get my phone from under my bed. I throw it.
This guy, man.
What are you doing, man? Slacking out here.
Okay, right. So, we left off when Max had just gone to the mess log, right?
Right.
So, fast forward like a month or 2 later, people had died, people had left, you know. It wasn't looking too great. And then there was this blood cult known as the Grove,
Oh god.
and they wanted,
And the
they
girl.
wanted to they came to Matala, looked around the place for a bit, and decided, hey, you see the leader of that place? I want to sacrifice him. So we spent the next month or so, we were panicking, we were terrified, we didn't know what to do. We were hiding from them. There was like a guy, we were going to send him out to scout. He was like a spy, I think, I can't remember too well. And we found him a day later, returned in a teddy bear as human meat.
Yum.
So I think it was, tasty, floor bacon.
Floor bacon.
But yes, I think it was like that finally made the leader, well, the 2 leaders of Metalux say, hey, enough is enough, we gotta go. So we relocated to Miglevka. And from there, we lived happily ever after with no issues whatsoever.
Moggle.
What do I feel like that's
Just
BS?
kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, there was actually a second cult that took a liking to us alongside the Grove. I don't know much about these ones, like at all. But yeah, apparently they were a danger. And so over time, every single person besides like, I think 3, 4 of us, they'd all either died or they'd left. And yeah, so eventually, Max, Yeah, Max, Echo, and I think it was Hoyt. They got in a car one day and they took off. They all left. And from there, we were all just like, we're drifting around for a few days. Echo and Hoyt, they were becoming closer. They were going closer to the tower. And Max didn't like that because he didn't like the tower. He was terrified of them. And one day, they killed some of Max's friends. Well, most of Max's friends. He didn't have many friends. It was like 4 people. It was Maria, Hamburger, Iris, and Jim Jam.
Oh, good.
They'd all died. They were murdered brutally by the tower because they killed one of their members. So, give it a few days, and like they were all, Max, Echo, and Hoyt, they were all going up to the tower to say hi or whatever. I can't really remember. But push comes to shove, and then Max ended up arguing with Elise, Winter's character, about the whole thing. And that was good, right? At least he wasn't getting too mad at Max. He understood most of his points. But another tower member was listening into the whole thing, and Max called the tower cowards at one point, and he took offense to that. So he was like, you want to see cowardice? I'll show you cowardice. Look at what we do to the people we kill. He went downstairs and came back up with a severed head that he dropped in front of Max. which caused which caused Max to freak out and run away. And then a few days later, he left the country.
And then a few months later, he fell into a farm machine.
Well, no, I thought you had to have a canonical death to join the afterlife event. So I gave Max an actual death, and then I found out you didn't have to do that, and I got really upset.
Isaac, did you read Max's death?
Did I? Oh no, I didn't. I was.
His death was like he became a
Basically,
farmer, and then
no,
he fell.
shut up.
Bro, you fell into a farm machine.
I did not fall into a farm machine. I fell on top of it was like a big rusty pole that was sticking out the ground. It cut up all Max's arm, and he died of a blood infection.
I'm not trying to be that one person, but that is the most pettiest death ever.
When Max survives all this stuff and he dies from a cut on his arm.
I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but that's the most pettiest fucking death ever.
Well, I thought you had to give your character an actual death to join the afterlife event, so I did that. If I didn't have to do that, he would have lived a long, happy life. But no.
Yeah, man, I just find it funny how, like, Max did, like, basically nothing wrong, dies at, like, 17 or some shit, and then Monroe just threatens to kill multiple children, kills multiple children, kills multiple innocent people, and lives till, like, 86.
Let's go.
Just because he's a G. Monroe's based. But,
Well, that's how most of my characters have died. They've never really done bad stuff, and yet bad stuff has come to them.
You are so good at just playing the likable side character who just gets fucking domed.
Yeah, I make friends with the wrong people, man. Besides Luca, I fully knew what I was doing with him.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's joining my fucking school gang, or you joining fucking Blackwood, you were always in danger.
There was never a moment when I wasn't in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I left my group of cannibals, and I was like panicking because I thought they were coming after me. So I did something bad to one of the members in the school, and then you got really mad at me for that. So I ran away. I joined Blackwood, and we all know what Blackwood does.
Yes, we do.
I don't think I have to explain that.
Question. So, like, aside from how Luca died, since you're like an ex-mod, you're really smart and stuff. Like, is it okay to talk about like certain events that happened with deceased characters without talking like about how they died? There's like stuff way off from, like 2-3 months ago.
Is that storyline over?
Pretty much, yeah. It's to do with the school.
Which school do you mean? I know.
Shane's Magical School of Happiness.
Oh yeah, I don't see how that'd be an issue.
Yeah. Okay, well, this iteration characters. My first one was a motorbike gang leader named Shane Gray. There were a lot of Grays that iteration, and it really pissed me off because I thought I was original. Man, like, what? Oh wait, no, I just remembered. You were one of them, weren't you? You were the leader.
It was.
Bro.
I was the
like,
leader, and then I wasn't the leader.
Bro, I was like, ew, this is so original, Shane Gray. That's a nice name. It's not as good as Dean Ford, but it has a nice ring to it. Oh, there's a whole fucking family named the Grays.
Yeah, you know what's
Great.
funny? I was thinking about naming my character Shane Gray too. But then I thought it was
No way,
Mac.
really?
Yeah.
You should have done it.
Two Shane Grays.
And then I changed it from Mac because I thought Mac would sound more intimidating.
Yeah, well, Shane didn't last that long. He ran a school. He killed, he basically orphaned a child.
No, when you say he ran a school, it kind of sounds like he was doing education stuff.
Oh yeah,
No,
his gang boarded up a school and he murdered innocent people. He threatened to kill Luca, but Luca did hold Duke up, so, like...
But, in my defense, I did it for the group, because I thought he ratted us out.
But you really expect Shane to understand that, man. Shane was built different.
We all know Shane Gray as the the cool, reasonable guy who can keep a very low head and doesn't have a big ego.
Bro, Shane's whole character is just like, he was like the guy, his whole character was like the guy you wouldn't want on your side. That's basically who he was. Like, he had his ego was inflated times 100. He had like a lot of pride. He didn't want help, like, from any outside forces or anything. It always had to be about him, and like, he was just the guy that you would not want on your team under any circumstances. And one day he messed with the wrong cult leader and got burnt alive. So, yeah. I mean, it was a good death though, I will say. But Derek was there, so it kind of neglects it all since, you know, I don't want good RPs in my space.
You do realize this is all live, right? People are listening to this.
Ping me, bitch. You won't. Ping me, bitch, you won't. But yeah, I'll let Teacup talk about Luca, but then I'll talk about arguably probably the better character.
I've already spoke about most of mine. I can't really get into mine without it being meta because most of it.
Are you still alive?
Well,
your character's still alive.
No, but most of the important stuff didn't happen up until like recently. Other stuff's still going on. A lot of that's meta.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, I can't talk about my new character, but I can talk about Nevsky.
Go for it.
What, you want to hear about Nevsky?
Yeah, it's your podcast. You can speak as well.
The guy who may or may not have blackmailed a few people in his time.
We love blackmail.
Why? What do you want to know about Mr. Nevsky?
Something I've always thought, okay, it's like, so, you know, like, how they have, you know, like in Marvel, yeah, I don't know if you've seen anything from Marvel, I don't really watch that much anymore, but like, you know, like, they have, like, the whole multiverse thing, like, in the new Spider-Man, okay, without spoiling anything, you know, like, obviously, there's, like, the 2002 Spider-Man, and there's a different iteration, which is the Tom Holland Spider-Man, yeah, it's like, they're the same type of character, just, like, different universes, yeah. So I don't know if you're catching on with what I'm saying here, but like, I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
What nationality was Nevsky?
What I can't play. I can't play like. I've tried. I can't play like fucking Russian characters or anything.
Oh, I feel you. I cannot do Russian accents.
I cannot. I tried it, and I tried joining the school. And I just couldn't do it, so I was a little bit petty, and I just fucking killed them. Because I just couldn't do it. It was hurting my vocal cords, like, so bad, and I was like...
I respect the grind from California, doing the British accent for Alice. Like, sheesh.
See, the thing is, though, with their, with the British accent they do, right? The American and the English, they blend so well together. You never really notice it if they have a great character.
I've only noticed, I've seen a lot of British accents, and being the British connoisseur that I am, I've only seen people mess up on a few. Shut up. Just because I don't have the same rights as you, doesn't mean you have to tell me for everybody, man. Okay, you haven't revealed your
right. Shut up, there's a sheep outside your house. Go and have fun.
You probably live in Birmingham, let's be honest.
Shut up. If I was from Birmingham, I'd rather you shoot me.
That's funny, you didn't deny it.
Yeah.
I said if I was from Birmingham.
Oh.
Yeah, if, bro.
Have I ever asked you to shoot me?
No, but I wanted to.
No, you gotta get
different.
stabbed.
Wait, what?
You gotta get stabbed. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's only if you're from London, which I am not.
Sorry.
I'm not from Birmingham either.
Bro, I'm probably from Sheffield.
But,
probably...
Nevsky was
Shut up,
from...
let me speak.
Nevsky was from the United States, I believe. I play most of the United States characters because I cannot fucking, like I said, I can't do any accents. I can do it temporarily, but once the vocal cords are like, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? Then you just can't do it anymore.
You just gotta like keep going, and it'll like they'll strengthen over time.
Yeah, like
when I was doing Dingo, it was killing me.
Like with Mac was Irish, so I was doing an Irish accent for like 3 days, and my vocal cord, I literally sounded like this, like I can't fuck it. Like I was just.
Yeah.
Is there
I
like
mean,
any accent that does that then?
But
Like, does any accent start hurting your vocal cords, or what?
I don't know, dog. I don't know what's the deal.
I mean, when it comes to bad accents, there was this guy doing an event on top of Ivor Tower, and then
How
they
many
were.
times do I have to tell you that wasn't a Russian accent? It wasn't
Whatever you
even a Russian
say,
accent, so stop saying it was a bad Russian accent.
I
Of
hear
course
the
it was bad.
Russian.
There was no Russian accent attempted.
It's like, say da in your normal voice.
Duh.
Duh.
That's what it was.
Oh, it was that? It was my normal voice? Wow,
Duh.
it's almost as if I wasn't doing a Russian accent.
Duh.
Wow. Da,
But,
da, da.
but the amount of people I've seen like do their normal American accents and just go, Privyat, da.
No, don't do it. I know what you're talking
Hey,
about.
yo, hands up. Do you understand me? Get on the ground. Do you understand me?
Da.
Da.
I understand.
Cringe.
But no, you can't, like, diss people trying to do other stuff, though. Because, I mean,
Fair enough.
they're trying something new, something that you... I can't really call it. Every character of yours has a cool accent that I can't do.
Duh.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I agree. Yeah, like no matter whether it's like a good accent, a bad accent, whatever, you gotta respect them
Yeah, I mean,
because it is terrifying trying a new accent.
Yeah, it really
yeah,
is.
like, when I do my new characters, I always try to, like, I don't like it when, like, because I understand, like, I don't really care if people do it, but, like, for me personally, I don't really like giving all my characters the exact same voice, like my voice now. I don't think any character has really had my normal voice. The closest one has been Monroe, but that's more like a higher pitched, more hyper version of it, It's more of like a,
Before you hit puberty,
hello there,
kinda
Dr.
guy."
Gareth Monroe here, how are you today? Oh, Charlie, did you kill bastard?
What?
But like, I don't know, I mean, I just think giving each character you have, like, a different, even if it's a slight variation of yours, like if you're doing an American accent, do a different type of accent each time, Like, yeah. I just think it adds variation to your character. Maybe sometimes you're raspy, maybe you put on the Russian accent, the British accent, the American accent, whatever it is. I think at least trying it, put yourself out there. It may be scary at first, but like, you get the hang of it eventually.
Yeah, that's what I did with Charlie. I made it like a deep. I tried to do a deep voice like fucking Winter did with his whole Black Hand stuff. I tried.
Yeah, like,
It went okay. I don't know.
I mean, with my most recent character, I've tried to more do like sometimes I've tried to do like a raspy voice. Sometimes it does come through, but like, yeah, I try to at least make it a bit different each time.
Yeah.
My character now just sounds depressed. That's the I've heard a lot, so
I think a big thing too is like we were talking about earlier, like can you do the fucking voice for a long period of time, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because it's definitely brutal.
definitely. I mean, most of my characters have been American, but like when I first started doing the accent, there was no accent, man. It was rough, man. It was in Contagion. I watched back clips and I cringed so much. So like, you learn, like you don't just learn it all at once. You learn from like slipping up all the time on your words. Like you learn to perfect the way like tongue movements and stuff, and like how you do it, And like slowly over time, I'm not gonna say my accent's amazing, but like I think it's definitely got better than it used to be.
Right. I feel like every time I start a new character and then I go up to a person that like wanted to kill my original character, I feel like every time they're like, "Hey, do I know you from somewhere?" And I'm like,
Oh god.
you fucking dope.
I like,
Stupid.
yeah. Once again, I'm not gonna name names, but one time when I was playing as Monroe, well, no, I wasn't even playing as Monroe for this. I was in an event, and I was forced to play. I don't want to say forced, like Sarah was holding a gun to my head, but like I had to play a British doctor,
Hmm.
and obviously there's a bit of a problem there 'cause I'm gonna sound like Monroe. So I
Right.
just tried to sound instead like a depressed British doctor, you know, because Monroe was just always happy all the time. So I tried to vary it. And then I had someone come up to me who knew Monroe, and like I spoke to them. And the first words out of their mouth was, Monroe, what are you doing here?"
Oh no.
Because I was
Oh
in the
no.
lab coat and everything. I did a different character model, but just a character like, hey Monroe, is that you? And I was like, oi, who's Monroe fam?
You won't sham. Hey.
Just take a bottle of water and go.
Sigh.
Yeah, but
You get stabbed
eventually.
next time you misspell my name correctly.
Oh, who's Monroe? Fuck off, yeah. Bro, I'm so tempted to do like fucking a roadman character too.
Please, dude, that'd be amazing.
Bro, you're gonna get
Just
fucking
fucking
shot, like, just
yeah,
day
like
one.
Tower comes up to me with all their guns, going, "Oh, fuck off, man! You get fucking shanked.
You won't get
Fucking shit, if
pegged.
you up in a minute." Yeah, but definitely interesting. A lot of experiences on the server, you know. I just, as a whole, I just find that We That Remain, like, it's not even just RP, it's We That Remain makes
We
DayZ
that,
special for me at least. Like,
we that.
I definitely don't think I'd play DayZ as much if it wasn't for, like, the RP scene of things. Like, DayZ, like, Stanley, it's a fun game,
Hmm.
but, like, after the first couple hundred times you die, it's just the same stuff. You meet
Yeah.
someone and they just spray you down immediately. There's no interaction. And when you do get that interaction, it always just ends with someone else spraying you down and you barely get any out of it, you know? But, yeah.
Then you
Yeah,
can
that's the
have.
thing with like regular DayZ though. It's like you meet someone, you get looted, you die. You meet someone, you get looted, you die. Maybe you get a few kills in between, but it's like it's always the same thing. Like it's just too repetitive for me. I hate it.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. Yeah, I've definitely found that out, like, when I first joined WTR, like, how like, just trolls and shit are in
Yeah.
general. I don't know if you guys were around before Lonely Roads, or not before Lonely Roads, but when there was two servers or whatever. I'm sure you guys were. But there was like
Oh
two
yeah, Lonely
servers,
Roads and
before
We
the
That Remain merged.
yeah, before they merged, there would just be
Yeah.
like on the radio, just fucking people just trolling, and you're like,
Honestly.
I've played. Then you're like, I've played all these other fucking RP servers. Is this the same
Oh,
one? You know?
the
You just
RP. There's so many different RP servers that I've played on. And, like, I've stuck with We That Remain for a reason. Like, the ones I played before. Now, as I've said many times, I'm not going to name names. I'm pretty sure it's taken down now anyway, but I'm not going to chance that. But, like, I've had a moment, I don't want the mods to come after me, man. They're going to come to my house, bro, with like, fedoras, tip them and shit. But, yeah, basically, one time I was on this server, and, like, for a little backstory, like, these evil bandit people came to our village or whatever, and, like, I looked at them, and then I went to go tell the higher ups that they were here, because, like, I didn't know it was them in character, but, like, you get a suspicious vibe when somebody's wearing all black and has an M4. So, so
this man's an
then,
investor.
honestly, the next man, it's just turned me off the server for good. Like, basically, I got back, and then the owner of the server was there playing his character, and he comes up to me and he just goes, oh, he just goes, Hey man, that's not cool. Okay, you can't be doing that. You can Your profile and our names. That's metagaming information, man. I will get you banned if you do that again. Do you understand me? I'm just like, what's metagaming information? You're just like, hey man, stop. We're not RPing right now. Okay. I mean,
Huh?
I will get you banned. I am a mod. I am the owner of the server. I will get you banned.
I
Do
was
you
one of
understand
those
me?
ones.
And then like another mod was there as well. This guy, he's like, don't don't underestimate him, man. He'll do it.
Right.
Well, some RP servers can be so goofy if they don't have the right people.
I think we can all agree Prison RP was the best server there.
Bro, like I I couldn't even imagine like me RPing with like Lectog, and then like he thinks I do something wrong and he go, I don't even know how to mimic Lectog's voice. I've never heard it before, but
I
like
have.
just comes up to me like, hey, you can't be doing that, man. I'm gonna get you banned if you do it again. Like, it's like, it just wouldn't fly well, would it? Like, the tower does some stuff, and instead of going into a ticket, the mods show up at their base like, hey, yo, we opened the ticket, man.
Sir, you can't be doing that here. This is unacceptable. We're gonna have to file a noise complaint. Microsoft's gonna have
Guys,
to get a hold.
no killing in the face down.
You should only be KOSing in
Go to the dedicated KOS
You know what?
down.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to contact your mom about this. This is unacceptable.
You killed my character, and you can't actually be doing that because canonically I am the main character, so I have plot armor. You can't kill me because your character is just a side character. You don't have the same reason to be alive as I do, you see. Because my goal is to finish the story. You see, the iteration. The iteration ends when I
You
end.
need to apologize. You need to apologize right now. This is unacceptable. You kiss your cousin, I mean your mom with that mouth.
Yo.
Yeah, but I get it. On that topic then, so Tanuki made a like a suggestion about like NPCs and stuff, which I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, you know, he sometimes doesn't have that interesting of suggestions, but this one I thought was pretty interesting. I'm not roasting the guy, but
Just politely critiquing his work.
but he posted like about NPCs just making normal characters after, you know, the prologue or whatever. Do you guys think that's
I'm against NPCs. Okay, maybe this is a hot take, maybe it's a cold take, I don't even know, but me personally, I'm against NPCs going into the main iteration. Because they're NPCs for a reason. I mean, if you choose to play the NPC, yeah, you can give them a bit of development, but you go into that knowing that their story is meant to end and stop at the end of the prologue. They're not meant to go on to be main characters or whatever, you know?
Right.
Spawn?
How about this then? Right? A lot of the CNG, they moved into the main iteration to like carry on what they were doing.
Right.
But in the prologue, right? They didn't drift away from their roles. They were still being NPCs doing what they were supposed to do as NPCs.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, not everyone who plays an NPC goes into the whole main character thing and they're like, oh no, I can't do this because I must survive prologue, sir. Like, I don't know, I think, right, in my opinion for that whole thing, if you make it to the end of the prologue as your NPC character and you've had like, you've never really drifted away from that role to try and stay alive, and you've still done everything that you were supposed to do, you've helped the story develop for other people, then you should be able to carry on. But if it's clear that you're like directly playing that character and you're trying to survive, and it's like impacting the server and the storyline, then I think that's when like you shouldn't be allowed to carry on.
I did it, Mom. I got development. I made it to the real story.
But I have a question. So like, I don't know if you know Tika, but you know Spectre's character wasn't he
Oh,
in the prologue as like a police officer?
dog, I thought
He
so too.
was.
Yeah,
Was
I don't know enough about how things get into it.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I always saw his name float around, but I mean he's changed his name so many times. I don't really know if they're the same
my name's
person.
Elon. Shaquise is his next username.
Elon Shaquise.
Yeah, I was
Jaquinius
part
Cornell.
I'm sorry, that was. My name's Jaquan. What's good, man? I'm waiting. I'm
Yo,
waiting
what up?
for
I'm
I'm waiting for one of those
Hughes.
people to RP as like, you know, like a gangster kind of like, hey man, where's my broccoli? You know, where's my
Hey guys, my name is Bendo. The
Bendo?
Guys, I come from a large series of history RP servers, which I have now named the Bendoverse. It's like the lore for my character.
Well, hello there. My name. You may not know me. My my name is Dayz. This is so stupid.
Have you ever heard of the legendary I Swallow Cum? That's me.
Introducing Jack Cough.
Hello, I'm looking for my brother-in-law. His name is Mike. Oxlaw?
Hi guys, have you seen my father? His name is Eric Shan.
Have you guys seen the legendary Jack Me Off?
It's not even names at this point.
But I feel bad for anybody who's watching.
Just talk about characters has come to.
Oh my god.
We've reached brain dead levels of humor.
We've reached an absurd amount of brain dead. I mean, it's.
So,
What?
oh, sorry to interrupt you, I'm just
No,
wondering,
no. I was just about to.
when do you think ERP is gonna come into play then, guys? I think it'll be
what's on
coming. I think we coming in next iteration. I don't know, it's just, you know,
It's dead, man.
these romantic relationships, man, I
Oh
just feel
God.
they really,
No.
all this
stop.
romance RP, guys. Bruh, imagine like,
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't be that person. I can't be.
why would you, I understand like committing to the character, but it gets to a point where it's like, that must be uncomfortable.
Okay, no, picture this. Picture you're in a normal relationship with someone, and you're calling a fucking person on a video game babe.
Sorry, babe, I can't come over. I can't come over tonight. I need to RP with my wife.
Bruh. I'm sorry. You're never getting any booty.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that's realistic, but like, no bitches. No bitch. I mean,
Like-
T-Guff knows.
I'm not hating on the
You
people
look
that do
fine.
it, but like, Jesus Christ, some of the RP, like, especially what I've seen, is just, it's not
Age
even like
gap.
you RPing anymore. It's like you're just a simp at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it just.
I
comes
knew a
down to you being
guy
a simp.
in Contagion who gave a car away to a female who he just met. I'm like, hey yo, I understand being generous, but you killed a guy yesterday for trying to steal a can of beans, and then you steal a car?
I don't know about you, but it just like at that point, it just doesn't even like fit people's characters or what they go through. You know what I'm saying?
Like, just
Yeah.
like, dude, bruh.
I'm not gonna
I
name
mean,
names, but like I know it.
Oh, carry on.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna name names or anything, but like, I know it. I know a couple certain characters who I haven't. I can't say I've really seen them be a single character before.
Oh,
It's
God.
always like
No, I know
romance.
what you're talking about. Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's like,
Can I just interrupt quickly?
yeah.
Okay, so
No.
like,
Just kidding. Yes, of course you
no.
can, Teacup Daddy.
Yay. Okay, so Isaac, you mentioned like being in like
Oh my
someone doing a
God. No, if you're gonna
relationship.
bring up the fucking Georgia situation, okay?
That is not at all what I'm bringing
Okay,
up.
alright,
What?
alright.
Wait, what are you
Hey
talking
yo,
about?
hey yo, what's the
Alright.
Georgia
No. Okay, no. I'd be like, hey, I'd be like in general chat, hey, what's up, everybody? You know, after like RPing with Georgia and then making a journal entry being like, hey, what's up? Or like, you know, like a love, like a simp kind of like.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But then people interpret that as like, oh my God, he's trying to get in a relationship with fucking mother or whatever. I'm like, I'm over here like, first of all, no. And second of all, Charlie thought of like mother as like a mother that he
Yeah,
never
I
had.
mean, having feelings as your character is like, it's meh. But like actually acting on that and getting into a roleplay relationship is another fucking thing. I mean, I'm just saying. If I
Anyway,
had a child, okay, there's one last thing I'm gonna say. I think it's a valid point. If I had a child, okay, I say I'm like 45-year-old bear for real from Surrey, and I had a child, okay, like 14-year-old kid, and they're on We That Remain RP, and he cancels plans with his real life friends to roleplay
God.
with his girlfriend in this roleplay server. I'm putting him up for adoption.
Damn. Okay.
I mean it. I'm
Tiga,
throwing away the key, man.
Tiga, what were you gonna say before I interrupted?
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned like
Hmm.
being in like a relationship doesn't really go with someone's character. You see, I disagree
No, okay.
because
I'm saying this, like, say Margaret dies, right?
right.
It seems like to me, like, okay, you love this girl, right? Theoretically, as much as I hate relationship RPs and stuff, they completely forget about them, like, right after they die. They don't write them in journal entries. They don't write anything about them, period. They're just a ghost. I just think that's, like, okay, if you're going to be, like, invested into, like, being in, like, if your character is going to be invested in, like, liking or caring about this person, wouldn't you think they would have made, like, some sort of impact on you other than, like, oh, she died. Damn it. Ugh. Next.
Oh, what?
You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
like it's just kind of there, and it's not really impacting the
Yeah,
characters
like
in any way.
I've seen that
Right.
countless times. It's like it's like it doesn't like make me mad. It just annoys me. It's like if you're gonna invest all that time into something like that, wouldn't you want to like go through with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Honestly, just be on that Sigma grind set, man. If you're gonna commit to asking them out in RP, marry them.
Do it in real life.
Do
What
it.
the fuck you doing?
Profess your undying love to them.
But yeah, it's like, you know, I see why people do that kind of thing, but I feel like sometimes it goes on like a more, they're doing it on more of like a weird personal level, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
They're rather liking the boner than the, you know.
Yeah, when you get no bitches in real life, so you need to get pixelated bitches.
Like, I'm not pointing anybody out or anything, but like there's some people in WTR where like they don't really value their character anymore once they get into these like relationship kind of things. They just ignore everything else. If that makes any sense. You know,
Everybody gangster until your RP partner asks for e-sex.
like they circle themselves around this this person, and this goes for both, you know. They circle themselves around this one person instead of like building their own character, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Which I think that's so annoying.
hmm
It's like I made 3 YouTube videos of just grieving about fucking someone dying. It's like I think there should be more than that from other people.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. That's my thing. Like I don't like hate you for that, for like doing those kind of things. They are kind of cringe sometimes. The way you do, the way you
You do you, my guy.
if you like foot fetishes, you know, there you go.
You like Daisy feet. Be my
Hey,
guest.
Dog, the day I quit Dayz is the day when someone fucking asks for feet pics. I'm done. Like I'm just done with WTR.
On
I'm just
spot
gone
it.
at that
Hey,
point.
can I have some feet?
Bro,
Prologue, bro.
I've had some weird ass streams, but it hasn't gotten to that weird yet. I'm retiring at that point if it fucking
man.
happens. I don't know about you guys. You know, you guys may be into, you know, some feet. You know, that's your thing. But like,
Yeah, Tico.
Hey, no, don't do that to me. I'm not into feet. I'm normal.
That's very defensive.
yeah,
It's the truth.
I'm not into feet, and then proceeds to take a snapshot of her feet.
Huh? What are you two doing to me? What have I done?
Just exposing the truth.
No, you're not exposing the truth. You're slandering me.
The Callaway Chronicles, issue number 29. Teacup likes feet.
I don't mean
That
to
happens.
like gas up my co-host though, but like she's lasted a long time, which
She
I never
has.
expected that out of Ricky.
Her character is really good as well. I really like June.
Oh, my character hates June.
Damn.
That's on her. That's on her. That's entirely on her. She already knows. Or she should already know why. That's not me even having like a grudge against Ricky, because yeah, I don't think there's any reason to have a grudge on Ricky, but like, but yeah, I'm surprised. Simp. I'm just kidding. So, were you guys, I don't know if we can really talk about it that much, but how'd you guys think about I don't know what you would call this iteration's final event? I don't even know if you would call it that. How do you think that
I
is?
think
What, like the big war or the actual events?
Yeah, the big war.
I
I'm
think
enjoying it.
it's very interesting.
fun.
It could go either way. There's a lot of RP to be had.
Do you believe that should just, like, people are suggesting end iteration after that or whatever? Do you think they should do that? I don't think they should, personally.
I think it depends on what happens like after. Give me like a week or so. Because
Right.
last iteration, like the tower raid happened and then the server was just dead. Until the iteration ended. So just
Okay.
like it really depends on what happens.
If it makes the server dead, then I think it should be ended, because this war, essentially, without spoiling too much, is ending a lot of people's stories. There's not many people left. Most people have just died now. And the ones left are basically only in this war. So I feel, my personal opinion, I feel it's right to end the iteration after this, only because there's nothing to do after this. It's just going to be nothing. I doubt people would show up to the event. It's going to be dead. Everybody is going to be dead. At least one side is. And the ones that live are probably going to want to wrap up their characters real soon after that.
You know, I mean, I have no room to talk. I'm going to be gone. But, why not, like, create a new character, you know what I'm saying? What's so hard with that?
People don't want to like. They know that the end of the iteration, it's like it coming. It'll be happening soon. Like,
Yeah.
people are guessing that. So like in their head, it's like what's the point of like working on a whole new character when it'll be worthless in a few weeks? Which I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm
No, that's
gonna.
not me confirming the end.
I want to take this time to bring up something I've always had an issue with, but I don't know how other people feel about it. Like, the whole thing of like, oh, you should be able to bring back a character into the next iteration.
Yeah.
Me personally, I really don't see I don't
No.
see why people like that.
I
Like,
don't. How? How would you
like
go back?
exactly like even if it's like new memories and stuff. That say like okay, I'll give an example. If I brought Munro back this iteration, he would not be the same character that he ended up being, which
No.
means he would not be as good.
Hell no.
Because like
Yeah.
Camp Freedom doesn't exist. His whole storyline, because your character can have a lot of like different things about them, but at the end of the day, their story depends on the people and the things around them. Without that, they are nothing. They're just a backstory and a clean slate.
And also, to add on to that, like you did all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you did all those
Yeah,
things in that iteration. How are you supposed to like, oh, clean slate, oh, let's go back? You know, like how are you supposed to redo that character when you've already done so
yeah,
much? You know, like
yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me. And then
yeah. I get what
like
you mean.
you're literally just coming back with the name, and that's it. That's all you're saving. So that's what don't that's what I don't really get about people, wanting to essentially keep their characters and stuff like you're saying. Like people, like it's good to, don't get me wrong, it's good to value your characters, but I think people should also um and I definitely need to learn this too. I think we as a community need to like learn to accept the fact that our characters aren't Iron Man or we're not vampires. We're not going to live, till we're 365. I think we need to like value like, hey, these are just characters and that's all they are. You know what I'm saying? While ensuring, well, obviously, valuing their characters and valuing your characters, but understand like you shouldn't have to get this attached to the point where it's like this is my life now, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
Like I feel like
yeah,
that's a very big struggle with a lot of our peers, and I'm saying it from my perspective as well. Like I've been attached to certain um, characters, and I still need to work on that too. But I think a lot of people also need to understand that as well, because if you don't understand that, you can affect people in general, like how they are in real life. Because like with Dank, I don't know if you guys were in the whole little meeting that he had, um, but he was talking about like people DMing people and shit like that, and just talking shit about whether it would be deaths or whatever, or going OOC or etc. etc. etc.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I'm just saying that from like I said, from my perspective, I've done that too, where I'm like, fuck this, I'm never coming back to WTR again, and then I'm coming back to WTR. That's just my personal opinion on what. I'm not telling anybody like how they should be or anything, but from my understanding, like you gotta accept like, hey, I did what I could. Time to move on. Time to create something I can give either A, other people PTSD from, or C, give myself PTSD by
mhm.
creating another character.
Okay, can I give my input on that?
Yeah,
On
no, go for it.
okay,
I really am like curious because like I really want to talk about this kind of stuff and see what people think.
all right.
Definitely.
So, a lot of characters, right? They've got like something special about them
Mhm.
that if they like, it pretty much revolves around the whole character, and you can't really change it, I guess.
Yeah.
So like, let's say use Chaos from the Black Panther as an example, Winter's character,
Yeah.
right? If he was to die, like while Weekend's doing his thing, because good guys, sniper boys come over and they're like, "You're a bad guy, you," and he's dead.
Yeah.
He then can't use that character again because it's already been used and it failed. Which, like, at that point, it's not really promoting creativity because you're like, if I do this and it fails, I can never use it again. I don't really want to take that risk. I'm just going to use something basic.
Right.
That's like my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to like use a character, knowing that if it doesn't go the way you planned, you can try again in a future iteration. It's like it kind of gets rid of that whole what if it doesn't go to plan? I don't think I want to use this right now kind of thing,
Yeah. I think
obviously if it was sorry.
No, you're
Yeah,
fine. Keep going. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm using Winter as an example again. I don't have a grudge against him, I promise. I really like him.
God damn it, Teacup.
Yeah.
Using these grudges.
I'm sorry. But yeah,
No, keep
like
going.
let's say every single character he played was Chaos.
Right.
And obviously that would be an issue that would eventually be brought into a ticket and like complained about to the mods. But if it's just like, I liked this character, I want to do it again,
Yeah.
and an iteration's already passed, you're like, it's been an iteration and you're trying again, I don't really see an issue. Like the whole thing with, like, I asked about reusing one of my old characters because we died in 2 weeks, wanted to try again. And a big reason why we couldn't do it is because like I was told it'd break other people's immersion. But like, this is where our opinions might differ. But like at that point, if someone reusing an old character is breaking your immersion, then you're letting that happen because you're letting the old memories of that character impede on this new one. You're using that PSN, like you're using old knowledge to dictate how you're feeling now. If that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I think but like I also think that's where like, metagaming and stuff can be like very hard to like track down, and I know they're doing stuff to, prevent that stuff, but you can only do so much to prevent metagaming, I'm sorry.
Yeah, obviously.
I give them like hats off. I give them full props for trying and stuff and doing their best, but people are always gonna find a way. Like, it's just inevitable. But then you have them like finding out, oh, this weird chaos guy who I played before just died. Man, I wonder how he died. Oh, he was a pretty cool guy, I found out he was pretty cool. This gives me a reason to kill who just killed him, And then they just go on.
Oh,
this
yeah,
weird,
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like at that point, that is a clear-cut rule break, which would be reportable and like bannable. Well, not bannable, but like offensible. Is that a word?
No, yeah.
I don't think it is. Like punishable. That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do get what you mean.
Yeah. It's like, at the end of the day, I think people take WTR or take RP very seriously. And I mean, that's a good thing to an extent. But when it's like, not really making anything enjoyable. Okay, say you're a leader of a big group, right? And you're the head honcho, and you're a main character, right? And you have all this influence on everybody. You being in a shitty mood and then reflecting that into RP can fucking just bring down the whole group. You know what I mean? Like, it just tears people apart, I think.
Yeah, I do get that. Yeah.
So, you know, I think, say, and it's been shown, it's been shown in this season, like, people don't get, like, hey, you know, it's RP, you know, we're not gonna get what we want sometimes, and I think we all need to accept the fact, like, hey, not everything's gonna go the way we want it to, and that shouldn't, like, deter us from playing WTR. It's just whatever, you know, just a game. It's my inspirational spiel. Isaac Newton _34 quote.
Isaac Newton, let's see.
Isaac Newton _34 banned from WTR for secretly having a foot fetish.
Ew.
There you go.
But yeah, I think here. I mean, wait, we might have some people, you know. Hey, Winter's in here.
Oh, hey, Winter.
Wait,
Hi.
Drago
is
OT.
Winter in here? Yo, oh my god, look who it is.
Winter heard his name and showed up. Like,
I love you, Winter.
Captain Schmick.
No,
I wasn't
just...
talking
Winter.
smack, I used you as an example. Because I couldn't think of any other cool characters at the time.
Bill Gates. He was a pretty cool character.
Yeah, but he's not always our main character.
Have you seen
I like
that?
Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't mean
He
to
was
talk shit
cool.
about the guy. Have you seen that guy's character name as Booker DeWitt?
Booker DeWitt.
Have you seen
Booker
that?
DeWitt. I
I
think so.
haven't.
Oh my god.
Might have.
He's the second person.
Ah, shit.
I love
I
Drago.
hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Oh, is this an hour
Stupid.
grudge I'm detecting?
Yes.
He's the
Wow.
second one.
There's nothing more in this world that I hate.
He's like the second dude. There's a guy in Prologue that was doing the exact same thing.
I
What, Slaver?
prefer Discord sugar daddies over Drago. Bro, I would rather somebody.
Oh, we're talking about
kiss him.
Drago, my bad. I was talking about fucking Booker DeWitt. My bad.
Oh yeah. I'm
Oh
just
no,
slandering the man.
Winter's got in the chat and asked what we think of Drago.
Yeah, I hate him. Stupid ass bitch.
I
Drago's
think
probably
he's
a better
unique.
example, actually.
As much as I think he's unique in a way because he's like the first WTR character to allow, you know, this slavery kind of like this slave thing. You know, like we've never seen this before in WTR until now.
He
Like fucking
he
1800s
literally
Negan.
got the mods to implement a new section of the rules just because of what he was doing.
Yeah. Like I don't think we've ever seen that in the how many years WTR has been around. So I think he's done an interesting
45 years.
45 years.
Imagine how many slavers we're gonna get in the next iteration.
Oh
of
my
that.
god, dog!
It's
I'm
not
actually
bad.
It's
That's
like
the-
tower clones. We're
that's
gonna
the
get
one-
Draco clones.
that's the one thing I'm not gonna miss being away from. I'm gonna
Just
come back.
clones.
I'm gonna come
What?
back and there's like 87 fucking people fucking
Isaac,
being slave
man.
things.
Did I tell you about the refuge clone this iteration?
The refuge.
That was
There
not
was-
a refuge.
There
clone,
was
no.
There's
there
a
was a
refuge
place
clone.
called there was a
Nobody
place
cared. No,
there
no
was
one cared about the
don't
refuge.
don't
No,
slander
no.
me because there actually was there was a place called New Refuge
Oh wait, what was there really? You're capping.
and it was ran by a certain person who's no longer with us, but
Oh.
no, it
You
sounds
meant
like
to.
they died, but like they got banished. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them, but the refuge was just the epitome of all RP. I mean, even the man Habit Forming said that this is a quote directly from him in Discord. the refuge RP was fire. Therefore, we are the best. I mean, you wouldn't even get as good RP as that in the tower. They'd probably just blow you out of a tank. How did that actually work? Did they execute people with that tank?
They executed my sister in RP with the tank.
Winter,
With Sasha.
Winter says not even doing slaves anymore, just making mind controlled.
Yeah, guys, the new Nazi zombies game mode looks fire, not gonna lie.
Nah, like I said,
I'm really here for the rise of Wintler.
Wintler's Gaming.
the legendary name.
Shit, he's a 10, but he failed art school. It all started when they kicked me from We That Remain.
And then I came back with an alt account, and I had my revenge.
You know, guys, I think we should have mind-controlled zombies rights. Who agrees with me?
I made a whole army in WTR full of mind-controlled zombies as a revolt.
Bro, 1.0 had like the kingdom. Like, do you ever think like Lycos imagined that they'd just be like mind-controlled war zombies in one of his iterations?
I don't think even Leg would have imagined this.
No.
Probably not.
Or even like Grimmy.
Damn, God, bro. Nobody really talks about Grimmy anymore. Grimmy was the best, man.
I miss Grimmy.
I don't know Grimmy enough to talk about him.
He was so cool.
He was a
man.
goat.
He was gonna join the refuge last iteration.
Really?
He was a goat.
Yeah.
He was a goat moderator. He was so cool.
Honestly, was he there from the beginning or close to the beginning? I think he was one of like, what? I think so at least. I mean, he was head of operations, so I assume so.
Yeah,
Remember when they had head of operations though?
I would always get dragged into tickets when I was with the Black Hand, and then the iteration before that as well, being a leader. He was so chill. He helped me out with so much stuff. I was like,
Hey, Teacup. Were you around at the time when there weren't any SMC? Like SMC wasn't a thing.
Why are we around? Bro, no, I wasn't.
Damn, so young. They call me the embryo.
Well, IRL, you're younger than me, so like, shut up, Vita.
By like months, maybe a year. It's not
Okay,
that
but like,
long.
I don't see your point.
Oh, bitch.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go soon because it's getting really late.
oh yeah, we
Same,
can.
homie.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I know it's pretty late for you guys. We went pretty long.
Yeah. How long have we been?
Well,
I think we've
I
been like,
believe
yeah.
Saturday is when we talk with. We have a little chat with Dank. Dank's coming in.
Hey.
So that'll be interesting. I know probably a lot of people will be coming in for that. Hopefully, I believe tomorrow we have Storm coming in and having
The
a talk.
man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, with his fucking Russian music that I got copyright claimed for. God damn it, fucking bastard! I was literally streaming. The man is like over here in his little corner, like, do you think I should play a Russian mixtape? I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then he fucking plays it. I'm like, oh, there's a copyright claim. Fuck. But yeah, he's coming in tomorrow. Let me think. I think that's everyone right now. We also have, who the hell is it? We haven't set up a date, but we have Pretty Yeet coming in. I'm not sure. We will probably.
Also, I'm gonna be doing God's work here, guys. Just watch this. if you would like to talk about your characters and your experiences on We That Remain, and anything that we've talked about today, be sure to reach out to this wonderful man, Isaac Newton 34,
Thank you.
and he will set you up.
I appreciate
We
it.
love Isaac.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Your opinions definitely matter. I'd like to think these are different from Boom's thing. Boom is the GOAT. Boom has done an amazing job with the podcast and everything. Obviously, you come in here, you talk about your characters, talk about, what impacts you had on everybody. You talk about either if it was a fun time, what you didn't like or what you did like. We also talk about, just how the server is in general. But yeah, I definitely thank you guys so much for coming out and
Yeah, no problem, man.
talking.
Just happy being here.
If you guys ever want to be in a future podcast or anything, I know Ricky would love to talk and have her say on
sure.
anything. Obviously, unfortunately, she wasn't here. But you guys want to ever come back? Hopefully, I will be back. Maybe for a season 3 or something after college. Seeing what's up. Maybe I'll have you guys back on. And we'll see what you guys have been getting into, and you guys can tell me all the stuff that I missed out on.
Indeed.
I'd love to.
I hate to.
I hate it.
Oh, you're not very
No.
nice.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was mean.
This podcast is getting a thumbs down. The first thumbs down.
It's okay. I've enjoyed myself. We don't talk about him.
Yeah, I've enjoyed myself, guys.
But no,
Mhm.
I've always been very curious at what you guys been up to. I see your YouTube videos, Bear, and I definitely like them a lot. They're pretty
Thank
good.
you, my
do
good
a-
sir. Thank you.
do a
Some
very good
people
job.
here, they have the opposite opinion. Teacup. Isn't that right?
Hey,
I remember.
what?
I'm not trying to sound like an asshole or anything, but I remember those young Dean 4 days, where you had
Bro.
that voice that you know
Don't
what I
even
mean?
get me started. It's all about evolving, man. Like, even like the way the videos were edited, that's why I've switched more to doing instead of doing episodic We That Remain stuff, I do long, big projects now. Because I hated the days where I was Dean 4. I didn't know how to edit at all. I didn't even use Share Factory. I just used the basic thing on PS5, and I just uploaded 45 minutes of unedited footage.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's why Dean had 50 episodes in his series. Bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Idiots,
like I said, you definitely do a very good job. Like I said, I'm not that talented to do those things
Wow.
and edit and all that stuff. But you definitely do
Well,
a very
everybody
good
starts
job.
somewhere,
Um,
Yeah. Thanks for that, my good sir.
Yeah,
And
no.
Teacup,
No,
well
I need
done
to
for
sleep
well done for being here.
Teacup, do you have a
Here's your
YouTube channel?
participation trophy.
Hmm?
You got a YouTube channel, Teacup?
I don't, and if I did, I'd rather it not be promoted.
Oh,
because
one
there's
video.
Well, I
so
want
much
you guys to
pressure.
get some fame out of this,
No, it's fine.
I only have
Okay.
40 subscribers, so I'm pretty sure all my subscribers are probably subscribed to you, Bear, so...
I appreciate you, man. But if anybody does want to support Teacup, his address is number
Hey,
6.
hey, yo,
Subscribe.
bro, no.
Subscribe to his OnlyFans?
I'd
yeah.
take that. You want to see my stuff?
No, Teacup, I don't think I
I'm
want to
joking.
see your
I'm
stuff.
joking.
I mean, if everybody else wants to see your stuff.
You gotta write me some money first up. No freebies.
But yeah, like I said again, I appreciate you two coming out and talking about whether it was random stuff or you guys' characters and you guys' journey in WTR. I appreciate it a lot. This will definitely, I hope over the span of 2 weeks it'll get better, especially when Ricky's around. She's definitely the GOAT's co-host. So, like I said, I
Yeah, I hope it
appreciate
does.
it.
It's been a lot of fun being on.
Yeah, like I said, you ever want to come back on or anything? You guys ever talk about new adventures you guys had? Feel free to just send me a little thing and we'll get you back on and talk about it in the next few months if you guys don't forget about me.
I'm not going to forget about you. How can I do that? It's a cool
Oh, no,
podcast.
I appreciate it so much. I appreciate having everybody on.
Yeah, I appreciate you for letting me join,
Yeah,
even
no
if I didn't
problem.
talk too much.
Like I said, I'm side character, main character, whatever. I'm glad to hear what the stories everybody has, whether they were short or long. It's definitely good to talk about.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Right, I'm gonna go now.
Alright, I'm gonna let you go. Yeah, you take care. And thank you
You
for
too.
being on. Tell Bear that as well.
I will. Bye.
Alright, you take care. Alright, guys. We're gonna wrap up this podcast. I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, tomorrow we have a podcast with Mr. Storm himself. He is a very, very interesting guy. I definitely like his RP. I hope you guys do as well. Storm is very good with the Russian accent. That's what I'm going to say. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, Dank Saturday. I'm not sure when yet, but I'll keep posts on that. Dank's going to be coming in and talking. Maybe give us a little insight on what's going on, or obviously he's not going to talk about what the next iteration is or anything, but maybe give us an insight what we're expecting or what we can expect. So if you guys want to come in for that, I'd much appreciate it. Like I said, hopefully Ricky's back. She had some things come up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, much love. Thank you. I appreciate it. See you tomorrow.